Do you want to manifest? Of course you want to manifest. Everybody wants to manifest. When they hear the word manifest, they're like, man, I want to manifest. I want to manifest $1 million. I want to manifest a beautiful wife. I want to manifest a gold turkey. For some of you more strange people out there. Today, I'm going to go deeper on what it takes to manifest through the lens of clarity. The more you understand, the clearer you are on what you want the future to look like, the more likely you will ever be in manifesting that future. Welcome to Build with Rob. Thank you for always tuning in and listening. Appreciate every single one of you. Of course, we always encourage you to like, subscribe, comment, wherever you listen to the show. I say it all the time, very grateful for everybody who listens to this show. It's ultimately just a platform for me to continually ideate my personal philosophy and begin to codify it. So one day, I can turn it into the book form and a software and a way for the world to live a harmonious, high-quality existence where every moment of their life is filled with joy, stacked together as happiness. Is the mission that I'm on down here, and one of the big things that is a part of that is the magical side. And the magical side is always, the word manifestation. Everybody connects with it because everybody wants it. It's almost like it is like the spiritual lottery ticket. Like it is the manifestation, man. It's that great thing, and some people can do it. And when they do it, they just have whatever they want. And there's almost like half of everybody that listens is probably like, I believe in manifestation, and then the other half is like, that's not even like a thing. It's like fake. And I'm here to tell you it is not fake. It is as real as it gets, but it requires, developing the skill and getting very intent on how to do it. And part of that is a deep clarity of what you're trying to manifest. And a lot of times I've spoken of like, hey, you want to put yourself in the future and you want to feel that moment. You want to like smell what the room smells like, feel the emotion that's actually happening in the future so that it's real in your mind, because your mind doesn't know the difference between what is real and what is fake, and you will put an imprint in the quantum field that'll shift your reality and guide you to it. And that is the deeper, sharper version of, going much deeper as it relates to planting that flag. But it's no different than goal setting. It's very, very similar to goal setting and creating a company, creating a success, creating a moment, a series of moments that you wish are going to happen in the future. And the reason I continue to talk about it and try to talk about it in a varying different ways is because it's an essential part of my existence. It's an essential part of my success. And I just want to continually give different aspects of it for people to consider so that they can begin to develop the skill. Because I do think it is a skill, and all you have to do is have one or two things be realized that you put deep intention to and created a strategy and a plan for, and then continually meditated or thought about them on an ongoing basis until it becomes a reality. You only got to do it once or twice, and then you're like, okay, I'm going to do this any which way but loose in every single way that I can forever. And you will get better and better at doing it over time. But it is something that you develop. And to me, I don't know if it was naturally in me. I don't know if I'm based off of sort of the way that my mind works and the personality that I have and the way that I grew up taking risks early on and finding success that led to build that belief. But there is no doubt from a very early age, I began to look out into the future and try to create a strategy to realize the future that I desired. And I see it naturally occurring in my son. Okay, and I don't know if this little fella's got like the DNA. I don't know if this is a DNA thing, but it's turning into like a joy to watch this little fella like develop his manifestation skills. And I don't know if it's through osmosis. I mean, I constantly am, hitting him with, you create your future, you design your happiness. Like, this is an amazing world. You get to live in it however you want. I'm hitting him with all that stuff. Don't think I'm not, deeply involved in trying to shape the core beliefs of my children. But it's getting tricky. It's getting tricky right now. There's a part of me, if this is how this kid's operating at 6, like, who knows what he's going to be capable of, 10, 15, 20 years from now. But, he recently learned about the Titanic. Right. And so, he's asking me all these questions about the Titanic. Did I know about the Titanic? Was I ever on the Titanic? And I'm like, man, look, the Titanic was in like 1909. Okay. They didn't even have like planes. People didn't even fly. The first commercial flight didn't even happen until 1914, son. People were on boats. Nobody back then even flew. There weren't even like streets yet. Cars weren't even cooking yet at scale, son. Just trying to give him some context to let him know that no, none of us were in the danger of running into any icebergs in our younger years. But he got all obsessed in the Titanic, and when he turns his obsession, usually turns to Legos. So he's like, I want. Do they make a Titanic Lego? And so I look it up, and there is the most insane, like, Lego set of all time for the Titanic. It is for 18 years and older. It is 9,090 pieces for an 18-year-old. Can I explain that to you? There are Legos that are so difficult that there is an age on them, that it is 18 plus. You got to be an adult to try to tackle this 9,090 piece Lego set. And so my son thinks that is like no non-issue to him. And he has built the belief in that because we allowed him to do this Ferrari Lego that was 3,000 pieces, and he did it. It was another one that was 18 plus, and he, locked in and knocked out this 3,000 piece Lego set of a Ferrari. So, when he says it, I'm like, he probably could do it. He's got more patience than his father. And I kid you not, early on in his childhood, he would get Legos for Christmas. I would have to put them together. After like the second one, I just said, no, I can't anymore. I cannot. Like, I just don't have the patience for this. Like, I can't go page for page and put one of these. I just can't do it. So, he was forced to learn how to Lego himself at like 4 because his lazy father, who doesn't have the patience to put together Legos, just said no to this child. You know what I mean? Is where he was set out on his own to develop his Lego skill. So now it's established there's a Lego Titanic, whatever. Like, I'm, paid it no mind, didn't have any conversation about it. It was just sort of like, okay, it's out in the ethos now. So we're driving home from school, and he says to me, this is like a week later. He says, Dad, are you familiar with Star of the Week? And I'm like, no, right? And I have no idea what he's talking about. And, he's in kindergarten, graduating, getting ready to go into the first grade. And he's like, well, in first grade, they pick one kid each week to be the star of the week. And I'm like, oh, that's amazing. And they get to bring whatever toy that they want to school, and they keep that toy in the school in the first grade for the whole week. And I'm like, oh, that's really cool. So next year, in your first grade, you're gonna be star of the week. And he's like, and I want to bring in the Lego Titanic. And I'm like, what? This kid just long gamed me, like set me up with like, do you know what star of the week is? No, I don't. Oh, it's like what first graders do and they can bring a toy. And my vision is I want to bring in this 19,000 piece Titanic next year when I'm chosen throughout the year to be star of the week in the first grade. And I was just absolutely dumbfounded. And I said, son, that is how you create the future. That is how you manifest the future. And I'm like, the fact that your mind didn't like beg me or say like, oh, I want this toy. Can I please, I want this Titanic. Like, no, you saw yourself getting the Titanic, making all 19,000 pieces just in time to be star of the week next year in the first grade and march that thing in to showcase that to all the other first graders to be like, look at this. I did this 18-year plus Lego set of 9,000 pieces, and this is what I would like to showcase as I am star of the week now in first grade out into the future. It's mind-blowing. And what does it do to a dad like me? It's like, we got to get you. I'm like, first off, I said, son, this is incredible. This is how it works, son. We didn't even give you permission or even say to you, you have no idea whether or not you're ever going to get the Titanic Lego set. You have no idea. We didn't even discuss it. It's never even been a discussion. But you've decided you're going to feel the feeling and the joy of what all the other first graders are going to see and say when they look at this giant 5-foot-long 19,000 piece Titanic. You're visualizing yourself in that class without even knowing whether or not you're ever even going to get it. And what does that make a dad like me do? Well, I'm just going to buy it for you, son. Like, it's like, and before I committed, I said, I had to, confirm with the wife. I had to be like, man, I really feel like we should just like, he's really like manifesting the future. And this is such a challenge for him. Like, if he truly gets this set and builds this set over the summer and has it ready for star of the week, like that is going to reinforce deeply in his subconscious and everything about his being that you need to put a vision to where you want to be in the future. And then you've got to build the strategy to get there. And then you've got to put in the work if you want to realize it. And she said, yeah, let's do it. I'm not even looking like we just bought him this really expensive Lego toy that's for like professional Lego builders. This is just to allow him to go through the process of pure manifestation from just a want and an idea to a moment in time that he's already envisioned. You know what I mean? And it's like, where does that, is that from me hitting him with like, philosophy all the time? I don't know. Is it natural? I'm not sure. But what I do know is that is the key to life. It is the key to a better future moment, a better future present experience. Like, you have got to decide what it is that you want the future to look like. And the more specific and the more clear you are, the more likely it's going to happen. The more you understand of what that moment is that you're trying to create and why you're trying to create it. And then you now can build the plan and the strategy to get there. That is the the way that you would create a typical normal goal for achieving something. And then how do you manifest it? Now you look at that end and the result and what you want it to be and how you're going to feel and what it's going to mean to you. And you just keep visualizing yourself there the entire step of the way. The entire step of the way. And it is going to eventually reveal itself, all the things that you need to do in order to get there. And maybe, my son's going to have to ask for help in order to get there once it gets too difficult. Well, we know he ain't asking me. He can ask, but I'm deferring. You know what I mean? So if I can't do like the 4-year-old Lego set, I'm definitely not doing the 18 plus one. But again, that is the process for really, really seeing manifestation work in the right way. Getting deeply clear on what that outcome is, then building the strategy and the plan to get there, then continually thinking about the feeling, the moment, the experience, and feeling what that looks like. And then as you're moving closer, it's getting more believable to you because it's getting clearer and clearer on what you need to do to get there. And the probability is getting higher and higher. And even the way it looks is getting a little bit more dynamic and having a deeper and clearer vision for what it is and what you need to do to actually get there. And it can be a couple different things. It can be a single moment in time, or it could be the beginning of a series of moments or a continuous moment like a job, like a career, like a company, right? Where like you decide what it is and where you want to work and whatever it may be. And now you build the strategy to get there and you continually stay focused on that. But when you get there, now it's this continuous ongoing moment that is now part of your life on an ongoing basis that serve the higher quality of your overall existence rather than just a single moment. Is another process of looking at what manifestation can do beyond just a single moment, but a moment that then becomes a continuous moment that becomes part of your life. And think about even how I approach building companies at the Dyrdek machine. Like it's literally the idea of manifesting the success of a business. And it's hunting a single moment, and then it's in the sense of like the big exit, and then it's creating a series of moments and a continuous moment of then breaking it down into the milestones and launching the company and then growing the company to the liquidity event. But the system I've created is about creating a higher and higher probability of predicting the future, of manifesting outcomes. And over the years, we just keep getting better and better at how we do that. And it always starts with okay, here's the idea. This is the concept. Okay, now we have to do a deep assessment in the concept of the founder. Are they experienced founders? Like of the product idea? Does it have, a big enough market? Is it just enough white space and just innovative enough to steal market share? Is the consumer side of the market big enough to grow a profitable, sustainable, acquirable business, right? We start with all that in the very beginning to give us the probability of get to an exit event, which is the moment we're trying to manifest. And then all of that gets put into a strategic financial model that essentially is predicting the future. That's telling all the things over the years that we need to do in order to create the value, to create that moment in time to have the liquidity event. And to me, like after doing it a couple times, man, you're you know how it feels. You know how to look out into the future and think about how that feeling is going to happen. You understand all the things you learned along the way that you need to do in the beginning, in the middle, and prepare for the end to increase the probability of it happening again. But that system and that process of, start with the end in mind as it relates to, building companies with the intent of building them from idea stage to acquisition is a very, very technical structure to how I manifest the future. And you can do that in literally all aspects of your life. But the more specific you are, the more strategic you are, the higher probability that you will one day be in the exact moment that you were envisioning for years in advance. When it was just an idea in your mind. It all starts with just an idea in your mind. And you can take as much time as you need to get as clear as you can possibly get to where there's a switch in you that says this is absolutely achievable through the strategy and the plan that you've created, and then set off on that journey and work incredibly hard while continuously envisioning it actually happening is how you are truly locked into the quantum field and you are pulling yourself towards the reality that you wanted to create in the future. That's a more strategic, goal-oriented version of manifestation, but I think that's a better way to approach it, and always look at it more from that lens of like, it's almost like a clear goal amplifier and a superpower that everybody has, but they spend most of their time, spending their energy in fear and worrying about the things that are going to happen or why it won't end up being successful, rather than taking the time to embed the future experience of the success of whatever moment that they want to achieve as part of practice, so that the subconscious and the quantum field can mold together and the universe can help guide you there. That's really, really what it's all about. And again, it's just another tool in living an amazing life and applying it in all aspects of your life, whether that's your health, something that you want to achieve, whether it is something in work and business or something in your life or your passions or whatever it may be. It is a tool that has a system that you can apply and have incredible results that you will be deeply fulfilled by, rather than thinking manifestation is a lottery ticket and you just wish it hard enough and it will happen, because it just doesn't work like that. But I trust that all of you that listen know that. Go out and get your dreams in order, because you got to look out into the future. You got to have that vision, that dream, look way out there. Build that strategy the way that if you keep thinking about it, the universe will conspire, and then give it everything that you got until you realize that dream. Until next time, see it, believe it, do it.